Well, I'm here in Abyei, and the reason I'm here in Abyei is because we are training over 50 people from the 10 states. These are people who are being trained to go and make the training of other people.
The journey to Abyei has been long. It has been somehow frustrating. It has been brutal, but it was worth taking that journey. This is the gathering of a nation. And our being here throughout this month for the next 40 years will be a test to this nation whether we truly can live together in spite of our diversity. It is possible that under God, however much we have brutalized ourselves, however much we have offended one another, reconciliation is possible.
You have been chosen only 5 from a state. The plan we have, we are going to train 550 people in the country. So you are being trained not only for you to be trained, but we are training a nation. What we need from you, you need to change from here. You need to identify what is your identity. You know why the South Sudan is fighting is because we identify ourselves with our tribe. You see? We cannot have a nation identify herself as a tribe. You are going to find your new identity from here. And I believe this group here, if you change, you will change the whole nation of South Sudan. See?
Yeah, I'm very proud of my new country, South Sudan. But what's impending me now when we are fighting about ourselves is beating me. I'm not feeling happy while we are fighting ourselves. And we have a large country. We have a lot of resources.
We are so happy for this training, and we look forward to build our nation, because without togetherness, there's no peace. When there's no peace, there's no development.
I think it would be found that there is no family in this country that have not cried or mourned for the loss of their loved ones. The war has been wholesome. I think as we look further afield, we will realize that all of us need to be reconciled, that all of us need to be healed from our trauma, that all of us need to come back and begin to kill our own prejudices, our own suspicion, our own mistrust for one another, because that's not the way to build a nation. The way to build a nation is to be able to trust one another. We are helping people to find a common identity, to find a common vision for the building of their nation, away from violence.
Through this song, I can say that I have experienced, or I'm able to say I have reconciled within myself to move on. Kore kore means mourns or cries, and the song was composed in late December after my family and I finally arrived at Kampala and settled. Well, my belief in this peace and reconciliation that brought people from all the different parts of South Sudan together is because they are all looking for something that is not in papers or on PowerPoints, only, but something within themselves.
I'm crying with you in this song, and I've seen tears already. It tells me that you felt what I felt in this song and what the whole nation felt. Just to allow ourselves to mourn and to grieve within. We can never experience what reconciliation means if we don't experience this process of pain within ourselves, individually within you and yourself. I haven't got much to say really, but have you grieved? Have you mourned? Have you wept? Have you cried within yourself?
I want to understand this emotion of anger and I think I can say hate. Suffering and confusion can change who we are. It has changed me. It has changed me a lot, and I don't want to be that person. I want to feel free. I want to understand how to reach that climax of what peace means and what reconciliation means and what unity means, because it can be common sense, but it's most of the time really not common practice or living or lifestyle. I want to experience reconciliation within myself first. I'm glad that such trainings are provided for the people, because it's allowing them the opportunity to feel important about their pain, that their pain is important to be acknowledged and to be considered, to be understood and felt. That is basically why we're here, to give each other a chance to listen to each other. No intervention right now can bring any change to what has been damaged within our hearts and our minds and the trauma level that we have all reached in. But the desire to want to get over that, I see it in many of us here. And it is stronger in me every day. And because that is what a true ambassador of peace is. You have to experience that reconciliation within you first. You have to accept and mourn it out, cry it out. And sharing it is the first step. I can say that about in a personal level. Talking about this is the first step.
Let us change. Bernard was talking about change. If you are not reformed here, that means something is wrong with you.
It is a continuous process. It is a part of our life, daily life. If we want to live as a Christian or as a Muslim or as a brothers in one country, we have to forgive ourselves from time to time, day by day, hour after hour. At this moment of quietness, we do want to quieten our hearts before you. We do so because we know that you are a sovereign God. Sovereign in the sense that in spite of what happens in this country, you are able to overrule every situation. Once upon a time, there was a woman who was in her mid-60s. The war broke into the country, and she, together with her 4 children, went to exile in a neighboring country. Having stayed in the refuge for more than a decade, peace agreement was signed in our country. And so there was a lot of jubilation, there was a lot of celebration, and everybody wanted to come back to the country. This woman, who was in her mid-60s, decided to return to the country. She was so excited, but very little that this woman knew that even when peace agreement was signed, there were still pockets of soldiers who have not handed over their guns, to the authorities. So it took the children and the communities about 2 weeks to establish where this woman was. That's a narrative. I don't know how many of you can identify with. You may not necessarily understand. But that was my mom. Many, many years ago, I went through this experience, and it was me who had to be called to identify the remains of my mom, because when she left Point B, I was the one who saw her off. And now it was my turn to identify whether this was truly a man or not. But there came a time I thought, I can't continue to mourn forever. Even if I were to identify the killers of my mom, it wouldn't bring my mom back. It wouldn't. But I think as I look back, that was probably the best thing that had ever happened in my life. I had to look for something bigger, a love that was bigger than what my mom could give me. I met the Lord Jesus, and God transformed my life.
What we're talking about is something that affects all of us, and that is trauma. And what I realized was that one day at a time, these things were building up on top of my heart. In recent times, I started to feel some nights I would wake up and I would be so angry, and I couldn't explain it. I would be angry and I wouldn't be able to go to sleep again. Just furious with I don't know what. So today I realize I'm also traumatized. I'm traumatized. I wonder whether any of you feel like you feel what I feel. Can you put up your hands if you somehow feel what I have felt and I have described to you? We are transmitting our philosophy, our faith, our wounds. In the end, we transmit our story to our children. And this is where children will, some years down the line, potentially become more militant, more prone to be violent than any of us who have been inside fighting, even physically fighting. I've heard very often, I remember during the CPA, people would come and say, but you know, those people have not suffered like we have suffered. This is nonsense. Nonsense. Everybody has suffered. Everybody is wounded, and everybody is a victim. Okay? I think it's very important. When people are going out to start talking about reconciliation, it will be about even reconciling the narratives. I suffered more. Why are you talking like this? Who are you to say that? But it's not every person has a right to say, I suffered. And who am I to tell you, no, you suffered less? Is it a mathematical equation?
I think the emotions are really, you can feel them. I mean, I can see from people's faces, and it's not that, I mean, I think the people standing up and sharing it's very controlled, it's clearly emotive and emotional. But I would suspect that we may have people who will not be able to control and their emotions, and of course, but I think part of this space is the security of it, the safety of it, that people can do that. I think the first thing is that, as people were saying, people need to talk to each other and get the narrative straight, and I think that's part of healing. It's part of saying, you have a bit of truth, I have a bit of truth, and between them they make a truth which we all have to accept. And that may actually remove a lot of the stress and the pain and the anger.
I want us to create a space where, as South Sudanese, instead of sweeping all our issues under the carpet, let's talk about it. Some of the stereotyping, some of the prejudices that we carry. Oftentimes we talk about, conflict analysis. We only talk about the behavior. We only talk about our contradictions, but we don't talk about our attitudes. What are some of the attitudes that cause us this pain and this conflict? And that is what I would like Jane to really take us through and begin to see how we can arrive at that. And then we can begin to develop a common identity. We are trying to find a common ground.
We want to start looking inwardly. How have these stereotypes, led us to where we are? And unless we touch it, we will never get out of it.
I know, as long as you still bear somebody in your heart, you still bear a burden. There's nothing light with you. You'll be restless. And this is the time that you need to release this burden out. Have that power to forgive. Please, you have somebody. I myself have somebody. I'm going to write it down. I myself am going to take mine. To note it down, the problem I have with so and so, the problem I had with my brother, the problem I have there, just note it there. This problem, this is the end of that journey. Bring it down and put it in the same box. We're going to burn it. We call you, Lord, to forgive us for whatever we have wronged you and whatever we have wronged ourselves. This is the sign of our inner hearts, that we brought it out.
Venga,
God has rebuked me greatly because I came here loaded with anxieties, with fears, as to how I would keep the Dinkas and the Nuer and other tribes together for 4 weeks without anything exploding. Now that to me has been really, really something that we got to celebrate. I have been hugely encouraged to see how people have moved away from a situation where they were tense the first week for a number of reasons, and it's rightly so. There was a lot of tensions, and that is because we have come here carrying a lot of wounds. But as we moved on with the teachings that have been provided and with the video live, experiences that have been shared, and I now see our participants are moving closer to one another. And even as we speak, you can see them playing volleyball, and you can't really tell who is from where. And that, to me, has been one of the success stories of our being here for the last 4 years.
The peace will not come from very far place. It will come from us, the South Sudanese. As it now, we are together. He is a Dinka and I'm a Nuer. And I didn't believe that I could be with Dinka one time and one day because of what I faced during this recent crisis. But because I don't want to narrate the history, what happened, but it cannot forbid me to forgive and to come together with Dinka anytime. So I forget everything happened, and I want our people to come together.
Being a Nuer and Dinka, we are equal, we are one image. So I love Nuer, and I want to pass my message to those who will hear me. I want to say, Dinka and Nuer, they are brothers and sisters.
Yes, the Committee for National Healing, Peace and Reconciliation is calling for everyone to be an ambassador of peace. Yes, salam.
I would like to take this opportunity to welcome all of you into this day's ceremony.
We have demonstrated to ourselves and both the national and international communities that given opportunity, we can coexist in spite of our diversity. And not only coexist, but we create new, more meaningful ways to move forward. Ladies and gentlemen, in the last 4 weeks, we have taken a step, only a step, to minister healing to one another, to speak truth, to listen to one another, so we might become agents of healing to our divided communities after we return from here. Reconciliation is human relationships. Reconciliation is both lifetime and lifestyle commitment to which we all must commit ourselves. Thank you. Thank you. May God bless us all.
Our desire for peace will be a strength that will help us together to face these challenges. We will bring peace, sustainable one. I've already tested the effect of this training within this month. When we came in office, one of the issues we inherited, myself and the mayor, there's been a strange relationship between two chambers of commerce. We took bold decisions as two leaders of the two local government establishments and invited a team from the workshop in a bid to reconcile the two groups. It worked. We have already the test of the effect of this workshop. and I'm sure we'll register more.
We are a big group, more than 60 people. I think we can do something in this country. We are a battalion of peace, and we can make peace in this country if we are together. I want to say to our friends, our partners, I want to say again, thank you very much for what you have done to us. Your commitment is very important. Peace is going to come soon. In Jesus' name, thank you very much.
It's a lifestyle that we must all see that it's a journey. It's a journey we must be willing to take. It's a lifestyle we must be willing to live. That to me is reconciliation.
We believe in reconciliation, and I personally as Rose, one of the things that I'm believing in it is that the country was in the crisis, and they say there is nothing that has no end. Everything has an end.
As soon as I'm going here from here, I personally meet with my family.
My neighbors as well, I will make sure my neighbors get the knowledge.
And then we go to my church and told them about what the training took place.
I will also ask for higher time in the media house, the FM.
I will first attend one of the workshops in Juba concerning trauma.
The first phase is that we are going to do consultation at the state level by each state members.
I hope we will be going as a team here. Some of the people are going to POCs in Juba.
And then when I will proceed to my home, the first things I will do is reconcile with my in-laws.
So I meet all the peace stakeholders within Lake State, meaning around Rumbek, and we begin the process of reconciling, of healing the wounded relationship between the military and the youth in the cattle camp.
I will be talking to them that peace started with your own hearts.
I'm going to forgive someone, although someone has wronged me. Because even when I came here, I thought it is only when you did some mistake to someone, it is you to apologize. But I came to realize even someone has wronged you, you still need to go and apologize and forgive him or her.
Following 15 December crisis, I've never been happy in my life. I lost hope, but when I came to this training has strengthened me much. I've seen now in you, I can see a sign of peace. In you, hope is born again in me.